sports.
We are Black Force. We are Minnesota.
Road trip for the Minnesota Twins. It comes to a close here today with the Twins hoping to win the final game of this four-game series with the New York Yankees. And it's a beautiful day in the Bronx. Good day to play baseball. Good day for the Twins to win a ball game. Dick Bramer along with Roy Smalley for the road trip and series finale. The reasons for the six-game losing streak for the Twins are as varied as the games themselves. Twins haven't hit well. They haven't really done anything well, but they have really come up short when it comes to the starting pitching.
Everything starts on the mound with that starting pitcher. Jack Morris says it, Bert Blyleven says it, and why? Because it's true. You look at the last four starts that the Twin starters have delivered, and they haven't delivered. Not a quality start among them. As a matter of fact, 4 2/3 innings, the longest any of them has gone. That's not going to get it against any Major League Baseball team, but especially against these Yankee hitters. The Yankee hitters are going to throw some runs up there. You got to try to figure out a way to hold them down as best you can, give your hitters a chance.
The last Twin starter to throw a pitch in the sixth inning was today's starting pitcher, Kyle Gibson, who's hoping to turn around his success rate against the New York Yankees.
And I thought Jack Morris in the pregame show said some very telling things about Kyle Gibson. He tends to nibble a little bit off the plate, inside and outside. He's going to have to throw an awful lot more strikes early in counts against these Yankee hitters. They're very, very disciplined hitters. They'll murder the ball in the middle of the plate. So, yeah, you want to stay outside, away from the middle, but you can't be pitching 2-0 and 3-1 against them either. So, tough duty against these Yankee hitters, but the Twins desperately need Kyle Gibson to throw a quality start out there.
Four-game series against the Yankees here in New York can wilt a team, and that's exactly what's happened so far. But the Twins can end this frustrating road trip on a high note if Kyle Gibson can pitch a good ball game and pitch the Twins to a win. Sports North is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Jeep. Get great deals on the Jeep brand lineup at the Jeep Spring Sales Event.
It is a beautiful afternoon in the Bronx. Let the sun shine on the Twins today. 62 degrees and climbing for a gorgeous afternoon. The Twins try to head home with a win over the Yankees. Good afternoon from Yankee Stadium. I'm Marnie Gellner. Last night, Lance Lynn went 3 2/3 innings for the Twins, and it was the 4th consecutive game where a starter was not able to get through 5. And Paul Molitor called this a tough stretch right here, where he doesn't feel like the pitching is all that well protected. And so because of that, the Twins made a move last night. They designated Tyler Kinley for assignment. Kinley came in the Rule 5 draft in December. And this morning, the Twins called up Aaron Slegers from AAA Rochester. Slegers has made 3 starts for the Red Wings. His ERA there was an even 2. And Molitor said this morning that he really likes the upside of Slegers.
You know, we know Aaron a little bit last year from his time up here, and obviously in spring training. He's gotten off to a decent start. And, you know, he was the most logical guy because he was the most rested starter down there in terms of being able to come up here and given a little bit of the status of how many guys we might have available today in innings that we might possibly need, it seemed to make the most sense.
It's just a little more comfortable every time you come, especially I was here in Yankee Stadium last September, and this can kind of be an overwhelming place. I know it was when the first time I was here, and just that I've been here before. I know I've also said that before, but it's just nice to every time to come in a major league clubhouse and feel a little bit more comfortable.
The role for Slegers right now is a little bit undefined. Paul Molitor said it's more day-to-day as they need him. But Dick and Roy, the Twins certainly liked what they have seen to this point from Aaron Slegers.
Both in a brief trial last year, but what he did at Rochester was very encouraging as well. The hope is the Twins won't need nor see him today. The Twins batting order about as right-handed as it can get, with Brian Dozier leading off, Joe Mauer batting second, Miguel Sano, Eduardo Escobar, Mitch Garver, Max Kepler, Robbie Grossman, A-Ray Adrianza, Ryan Lamar, and the lineup brought to you by Menards.
They'll dig in against Jordan Montgomery, big left-handed starter for the Yankees. The Twins roughed him up at Target Field last year. 6 earned runs in 6 innings. Boy, they could sure use that. This lineup could sure use that today.
And the Yankees out in the field. Brett Gardner in left field. Aaron Hicks is in center. Giancarlo Stanton in right. Miguel Andujar at third. Didi Gregorius, Gleyber Torres up the middle. Tyler Austin had a wonderful game last night for the Yankees at the plate and in the field. And Gary Sanchez back behind the plate. Aaron Judge is the designated hitter for the Yankees today. The notion that the Twins can't win here has been reinforced enough, but there was a period of time, 2012, 2014, when the Twins actually were 6-4 here at Yankee Stadium. And they're trying to avoid a 4-game sweep. It would be their first 4-game sweep since the 2009 season here. Brian Dozier takes up and away, ball 1. And Paul Molitor would like to see the road trip come to a successful end. It started on a high note after the win in San Juan on a Wednesday night a little more than a week ago. A couple of games that the Twins could have won in St. Petersburg but didn't, and then the 3 games here. 1-1 to Dozier. Mauer and Sano will follow. And now 2-1. Twins left San Juan 3 games above the 500 mark. And Dozier takes low, 3-1. And Mauer on deck.
So far we've seen Brian Dozier have the kind of at bat we really, I know James Rouse, the hitting coach, is really looking for his hitters to have.
Swinging a foul, 3-2.
And that is get pitches that you can barrel up, that you can really have good swings at, put the big end of the bat, and don't be chasing pitches that are hard to hit or pitches that are out of the strike zone early in the count. Give yourself a chance. The Twins haven't really given themselves much of a chance at the plate yet this series.
And Dozier takes a walk, as he did in the opening game of this series. And he's aboard for Mauer. Pizza Ranch for the win. What have you got? How can the Twins win this final game?
Well, they've got to get a big hit. Somebody's got to step up. Last night was a great example. They put a lot of guys on base. They were 3 for 12, which isn't. It is not awful. But the 11 that left on base means that none of those hits were extra base hits. No doubles, no home runs. When they get guys on base, somebody's got to come through and be the deliverer of a 4 or 5 run inning.
And Mauer takes low, ball 1. From the 5th inning on last night, there were 9 at-bat, 9 plate appearances, where a double would have tied the game or put the Twins in front. Forget the 3-run home run. The Twins were beaten last night by a 3-run home run. Just a double. They looked very much like a team last night that was trying to end a 5-game losing streak, with hitters pressing in the box and not delivering in the clutch. 1-0 to Mauer. And over the top on a fastball, strike 1.
Well, the way you deliver in the clutch, or the way you get hit the ball hard anytime up, is to get a good ball to hit. And you watch the Yankee hitters, for example. Now, admittedly, they're hot. They're just not missing anything in the middle of the plate. But they also don't swing very often at tough pitches. They make you throw the ball in the middle of the plate. If the ball's off the plate, or they're early in the count and they're not swinging it, breaking balls in the dirt or anything, we saw a lot of that from the Twins hitters, putting themselves in holes and not being able to get a good ball to hit.
Slide step and a breaking ball over for strike 2. Montgomery aware that Dozier can steal a base, although he was thrown out last night on a delayed steal attempt. So he's going with the slide step, or at least has a couple of times in this at bat.
You know, hitting in the big leagues is not easy, and I know the Yankee line makes it look like it is, but you know it's not. And the Twins hitters are trying. But this hitting thing comes and goes. It comes and goes for individuals, and then it can come and go for a whole team. And it is gone right now for the Twins. But the way you get out of that is to figure out, how do I do this? I'm going to get a good pitch to hit, or I'm not going to swing. I'm not going to be anxious and get myself in a hole early.
1-2 to Mauer. Sharply hit, picked up by the shortstop Gregorius, and a double play. Fine play by Gregorius, getting the hot ground ball going to his left, and the Twins may look at the play at first base to see whether it was in fact a double play. And again, just the first ball put in play. It's tough to challenge this unless you're sure, because if you challenge it and you don't get the call overturned, then you're sunk.
Terrific play by Gregorius. See there, Torres has a tough time getting the ball out of his glove, and that might have been just enough time.
So a big gamble here, as the Twins are going to have the umpires look at this. Mauer hustling down the line, and it looks like he got there a hair before the ball reached the glove of Tyler Austin. As it is right now, a 6-5-3 double play, but the Twins are taking the gamble here. It happened at home in the first homestand of the year, where the Twins challenged after Dozier's first at bat. They won the challenge, and it led to a couple of first inning runs that ultimately meant the difference in the game. So we'll see what happens here. Twins challenged the last ball put in play last night, and this afternoon.
Well, I would say he's safe. The ball's got to be in the web of the glove, and I thought Joe beat it just barely. Now, whether or not they'll overturn it because of how close it is.
He's on the bag, and the ball's a foot away from the glove.
I think he's safe, but we've seen stranger calls made, or non-calls.
And it's a local call because we're here in New York. Right? I mean, it's just south of our hotel a little bit. We'll see what the call is.
You're saying they can hear the Yankee fans boo from all the way from there?
Safe.
Yeah, good for them.
So the Twins take the gamble, and it is 1 out, not 2. And Mauer will stay at first base. Truth be told, he never left first base. He was confident that he had beaten it. So good play by Gregorius.
Really nice play by the shortstop, and I erroneously said it was Torres. It was actually the swung over third baseman Andujar that was in the middle of the double play. Probably why the exchange wasn't very clean. Well, back over to first base, but once again, Didi Gregorius showing what he can do as a complete ball player.
Here is Sano. And there is strike one. Sano hit a first inning home run last night. And last July 19th, he hit a home run against Montgomery at Target Field. Up and away. It's got to be some comfort to a hitter when you know you've already beaten the pitcher with a home run ball.
It is a comfort. You have some confidence right away the next time. You've also seen him once. There's nothing like familiarity in this game, especially with when you're at the plate. The more you see, the more you know about a guy, the better it is.
Inside.
He is just, I can't tell you how different Sano looks at the plate. Starting last night and already today, as I mentioned, you can tell an awful lot about a hitter and how he's feeling, how he's seeing the ball by the way he takes pitches. And he is not jumpy. He looks like he's seeing the ball early. Much better.
Swing and a foul, 2-2. Paul Molitor talked about that in his session with the media this morning. How Sano is recognizing the curve early, and he's not offering at it. No, we haven't seen a check swing here in several games.
Right. There's a good changeup right there, and I think he's already thrown in two changeups. The first ball pitch and now that one. I think that's his plan against Sano, is to show him fastballs and throwing changeups. There's another one.
Sanchez with a block on a pitch that landed 3 feet in front of the plate. The wind is not strong, but it is blowing out. And it's just nice to see clear skies. We played in fog last night for most of the game. Full count. Mauer doesn't go, and there is a called third strike. So no, took one on the outside corner, 2 down, and that'll bring up Escobar.
Every once in a while, the big man just gets locked into it's just going to be a fastball.
Well,
and I don't blame him on that one. There's a lot of times when he'll take that pitch out there on the outside corner and it actually is a strike because he's looking fastball and he just gives up on that breaking ball. But I'm with Sano on that one.
Here is Escobar. I think we saw that a lot when Sabathia pitched here the other night.
Same pitch. That breaking ball on the outside of the plate. It does not come back and get the outside corner, but it gets called as if it did.
Outside to Escobar, as his batting average back over 300. And a fastball down the middle, 1-1. Yankees have a 7-game winning streak over the Twins going back to last year and through the wild card game. The last time the Twins beat the Yankees, Montgomery was the starter and loser at Target Field. Big swing and a foul. 1-2. Twins as right-handed as they can get. They have Castro, Morrison, and Rosario on the bench. Last year, Montgomery held left-handers to a 195 batting average, and left-handers this year are 0 for 6 against him. Make it now 0 for 7 with Mauer's fielder's choice. Escobar strikes out, and Montgomery pitches around. The leadoff walk. The Twins strand one. No score after a half. after a half inning. Let's check out the Yankee batting order. Brought to you by Menards. Brett Gardner leading off. Aaron Judge, Didi Gregorius, Giancarlo Stanton, Gary Sanchez, Aaron Hicks, Tyler Austin, Miguel Andujar, and Gleyber Torres.
And Kyle Gibson on the mound for the Twins has not fared well against the Yankees so far in his career, but he's a different pitcher. Second half of last year and the first part of this year has pitched very well. See if he can keep that going here in the Bronx.
He's had a bit more of an issue with his control so far this year, but some of the weather, cold weather that the Twins experienced early on, Gibson had to deal with that. But as we have said throughout, and not just this year, other years too, you just can't afford to walk these Yankee hitters. They're too good and too deep. One strike to Gardner, and now a ball. Gardner, Judge, and Gregorius in the Yankee first.
For Kyle to be successful today, he's going to have command of the two fastballs he's throwing now. He's throwing a four-seam fastball and a two-seam fastball.
On the ground, gobbled up by Adrianza, and he throws over to Sano. And a little bit of a different look with Mauer DHing and Sano swinging across the diamond on the infield. Let's take a look at the Twins out in the field. Switch hitter Robbie Grossman in left, right-handed hitting Ryan Lamar in center. Kepler, a lefty, is in there. Escobar's a switch hitter. Adrianza's a switch hitter. Dozier's a right-handed batter. So too Sano, who's playing first base, and the right-handed catcher Mitch Garver behind the plate. One down. That'll bring up the birthday boy Aaron Judge, who has turned 26 years old today. Ball one.
Jack Morris brought up a great point in our pregame show today that he believes that Kyle Gibson is going to have to be successful with a few more breaking balls and not just fastballs to these Yankee hitters. And I think that's a really good point with a butt. There's a good fastball in the inside corner. The butt for me is he's a different kind of fastball pitcher now. The four-seam straight fastball and then the sinker. And I think if he's able to use both of those as two distinct pitches against these Yankee hitters, that will give him an advantage. But he's got to have there's a nice breaking ball there. He's got to have command of both of those fastballs, so he can sink the ball into right-handers and he can ride it. We look at that breaking ball, just missed the outside corner.
2-1. On the outside corner, a snap of the glove as Garver caught it. 2-2.
And that's a good example of Kyle Gibson being good this year. The second part of last year and the first part of this year, for the most part, when you really have to have a strike, and he needed a strike right there to get back to 2-2. Can you throw it on the corner? Can you make a quality pitch with a fastball and not throw it in the middle?
And a breaking ball strikes out Judge, 2 away. And that'll bring up Didi Gregorius.
Thank you, Jack Morris. This is a great call right here. He threw some good fastballs to get to 2-2 and then puts him away with a nice breaking ball. So if he can have that pitch right there where he threw two breaking balls in location to Judge and complement those with showing guys that he can throw fastballs on either corner of the plate, then he can have success against these Yankee hitters.
Here is Gregorius. He's homered in 5 straight games against the Twins, counting the wild card game. Missing ball 1. But getting back to your point, yeah, he struck him out with the breaking ball, but the most important pitch in that at bat might have been the fastball on 2-1. If he misses with that, then the whole at bat changes.
Right. Now he's in trouble, and that's where we saw him have trouble in the past.
Big swing and a miss, 1-1.
Nice little change up there to Gregorius. A fastball count, missed with a sinker. Gets the hitters in a fastball count. Didi's hot, looking for it to jerk a fastball in the right field seats, and Gibson threw him a nice change up there. But for Gibson to be able to go from 2-1 to 2-2 with a fastball in the corner instead of the middle, that is big.
Another swing and a miss.
Okay, so here's 3 in a row. These are better breaking balls than Kyle Gibson has had in the past. So that's got some strikeout ability to it. That trajectory there.
1-2. And a long look, and Gregorius asks for time.
That's a good shake there. I think Mitch Garver wanted changeup, and I don't think changeup's a good pitch to Gregorius with 2 strikes after he just missed a curveball by a lot. See what he changed to. Yep, high fastball.
That's a high fastball.
Good shake right there by Gibson. Really, really good selection of pitches.
A couple of strikeouts and a quick 1-2-3 bottom of the first. In this series, the first game turned into a blowout. Second game wasn't a whole lot better. Last night was a competitive game, but look, the numbers on the left are way too low and the numbers on the right are way too high.
That's not a good combination.
No, that's a Dairy Queen combination. It's just not a winning combination. Mitch Garver will lead things off here for the Twins in the second, then Max Kepler and Robbie Grossman.
Dairy Queen makes way better combinations than.
Yes, they do. And I've enjoyed many of them over the years.
You betcha.
Haven't enjoyed any of the combinations in this series so far. You look at what's happened here, and you say, "Wow, forget the first game. We didn't televise it, so it's easier for us to forget that first game." 1 strike to Garver. So you look 2 games ago, and the Twins gave up 8 runs and lost, and last night 7 runs and they lost. And you go, well, they got to pitch better. Well, sure, that's nice to say. The Yankees aren't averaging 8 runs a game. They're not averaging 7, but they are this year averaging more than 6 runs scored per game. It's not just the Twins pitching that has struggled against the Yankee lineup. Everybody has.
That's exactly right, and everybody will. Believe me, all through the season, the Yankees are going to pound the baseball.
2-1 now to Garver. Twins got a leadoff walk in the first, and would like to get Garver aboard here in the second. Garver, Kepler, and Grossman in the Twins second. That tickles the outside corner, and it's 2-2.
You're going to see that 83 number a lot in the miles per hour. He's from Montgomery. He's throwing an awful lot of changeups, and it's clear that that's his plan, especially against all these right-hand hitters.
And Garver strikes out. He is the 3rd straight strikeout victim for Jordan Montgomery.
Here he strikes him out with a very nice breaking ball. He's topped out at 89 miles an hour on the fastball. He's throwing changeups at 80 to 83 to 84. The curveball at 81. There's a lot of nothing here so far from a lot of arm action, a lot of slower stuff, keeping the Twins off balance so far.
Kepler takes a strike.
There's 91. He humped up on that one.
One of the bright spots of this young season is what Kepler has done against lefties. Overall, the average over 300, and he's hitting .333 against lefties. on the ground. A couple of soft hops to Torres, 2 away. And that'll get us to Robbie Grossman, switch hitting outfielder. Twins kind of rotating outfield combinations until it is believed tomorrow when the Twins open up the homestand, and a very good possibility that Byron Buxton will be back with the team when the Twins start the homestand against the Reds tomorrow. There's strike 1 to Grossman. Up and away.
There is a different feel to the lineup, isn't there, when Byron
Sure
Buxton's
is.
out there in center field? It just it just feels different.
This one hooked to the corner. It is deep to the corner. Hits the warning track high off the wall. Grossman digs for second, and he's got the game's first hit, a 2-out double. So Grossman whacks a double into the left field corner.
Robbie Grossman is a disciplined hitter and is the kind of hitter that against a pitcher like Montgomery can have some real success, because he's not going to chase the slop outside the zone. He's going to make Montgomery throw him a strike, or he's not going to swing. And in the strike zone from Montgomery, I think Grossman's got a lot of weapons.
And now Adrianza with a chance to deliver a run producing 2-out hit, and he takes inside, ball 1. Adrianza 4 for 11 from this side of the plate. Healthy lead at second by Grossman. And Adrianza checks. It's 2-0.
That's a good take, a good check right there, to use your term. It really is, because that's what I'm talking about, what we have not seen from the Twins in this series in particular. That ball has been swung out an awful lot and get you to 1-1 instead of now in this hitter's count at 2-0.
(3-0) with Lamar on deck. Adrianza likely taking here.
Yep.
And he takes a strike. 3-1.
3-0 when you're not given the hit sign, when you know you're taking, was always a great opportunity to really zero in and see the ball out of the pitcher's hand. There's no anxiety. You know you're taking. Nothing has to happen. Just really see the ball well, so that on 3-1 you feel like you've got an even better chance. You're seeing the ball well.
And a throw to second. Grossman back. Adrianza draws a walk, first and second. That's interesting. I've never heard anybody express that before. So unless you're green lighted on 3-0, you can let the bat sit on your shoulder and you just watch the ball maybe all the way into the catcher's mitt, whatever, just so you can maybe pick up the pitch and the release point a little bit better on 3-1.
Absolutely. That's not just a throwaway pitch, in my opinion. You know, 3-0. You haven't got a care in the world. All you need to do is sit there and watch the ball, right? So I mean, watch it. To see his release point, see where you're going to see the ball from the next pitch, because the next one, 3-1, that's the one you really want.
Here is Lamar, 2 on, 2 out, and he takes strike 1. Eddie Rosario starting the day on the bench, giving the right-handed hitting Lamar an opportunity to start and play center field. 1 strike. Big swing, 2 strikes.
just
high breaking ball.
Yeah, spinning breaking ball. That he's gotten away with a lot of breaking balls and changeups from belt high and above so far. That's a tough pitch sometimes. It's not really a hanger. It's just a high spinner, and you're expecting to come down more, and you swing at it like it's going to break, and it doesn't.
Seen Lamar go to right field a lot of times with 2 strikes, and he got a piece of it. Came off the bench, got a 3-hit game in San Juan, and ended up getting the game-winning hit. But his first 2 hits came with 2 strikes, and he just like he gave up on the pull side and was intent on hitting the ball to the right side, and was rewarded with some base hits. We'll see if he can get that done here. Grossman at second, Adrianza at first. A swinging strike 3, and the Twins strand 2 in the second. It'll be Stanton, Sanchez, and Hicks for the Yankees in the second.
Here is your scoop from the clubhouse. Paul Molitor said that he was really encouraged by the at-bats that Miguel Sano took last night. 2 hits, 2 walks. Molitor said Sano saw a lot of pitches, and that when he simplifies things, he can still do a lot of damage. Max Kepler in the lineup again today against the left-handed starter. Molitor talked about just the repetition of seeing the quality starters here in the big leagues, and especially in seeing the breaking ball. The more you see it, the more comfortable you get with it. And I also asked Molitor about the starters, and Molly said that these guys know the situation we're in, and that it doesn't need to be stated. There's no verbal communication that needs to be made. Kyle Gibson and these starters know we need a longer outing right here. And guys, Gibson was the last to get into the 6th inning last Saturday at Tampa. Maybe he's the one to start the new cycle here today.
That is the hope. And in fact, Gibson actually pitched into the 7th inning, pitched 6 1/3 innings. In St. Petersburg, 1 down with Stanton rolling 1 to Escobar, and now Gary Sanchez. Well, in terms of doing what's necessary to end a long losing streak, unfortunately, a lot of these guys got more experience with that than they wanted to 2 years ago, when there was an opening 9-game losing streak, later on in the summer an 11 and a 13-game losing streak, and the hope is that they can put an end to this 6-gamer and just move on. 1 strike. To use a cliche, pitching against this Yankee lineup in this ballpark I don't know if it's like walking a tightrope, but it's walking the balance beam. I mean, you've got to be true. You can't make a mistake. Lance Lynn talked about it last night. Pitching against this lineup here, you make a mistake, and right now the way they're going, they will make you pay for it.
That's exactly right.
Sanchez takes down and away, 1-2.
They're very good hitters in terms of immediate run production, right? I mean, they're up and down the lineup. There's a double or a home run or a home run waiting to happen on a mistake pitch, and really critical not to walk guys here against this lineup and in this ballpark. Really
half swing, but he went. And Gibson has another strikeout.
So again, his breaking ball, it looks very, very good. He's throwing it at a good trajectory and in a good spot to get the swings, misses, and then check swings. You'll see it right here. If he stays down there, they will keep swinging at that ball if he impresses them as he did early with a kind of a riding fastball in. See the side swing of Sanchez. He gets his big leg kick, gets his body moving forward. Couldn't hold up his swing, but again, curveball very, very important as a strikeout pitch, but it's set up by fastballs on the inside part of the plate.
That's a four-seamer up high, ball one to Aaron Hicks. Hicks didn't play in the ball game last night. Just outside 2-0.
Well, good call by you on the first one, the four-seamer at 94 miles an hour. That was the two-seamer, and you see the difference in velocity, but also the difference in movement. Four-seamer 94, it's faster and it's straight. Two-seamer not as fast, but good movement.
Pulled foul, and it's 2-1. And he cracked his bat. Hicks will get a new one. Yankees have kind of full time in the outfield. What the Twins are forced to do now with Buxton out, kind of different people in different spots on any given night. Kepler might be in center, he might be in right. All of that necessary because Buxton's not available or hasn't been for the last week. But the Yankees, that's kind of the way they're going to go about business. Hicks might be in center, he might be in left, he might be DHing. Gardner might be in left, might be in center. Judge might be in right, Stanton in right or left. So it's not enough to check the Yankee lineup to see if you're in the lineup. You need to figure out where on the field to run when you're out on the field in the outfield. 2-2 to Aaron Hicks.
Well, they have four competent outfielders in the Stanton, Judge, Hicks, and Gardner. And it's just a question of who gets to DH, who's going to rest.
3-2.
Hicks will play an awful lot against left-handers in place of Gardner. That gives him that luxury. He can move over to the right side of the plate and hit right-handed against a left-hander when instead of Gardner hitting left-handed. But the emergence of Aaron Hicks to be one of those competent outfielders here, I actually think is a big plus for the Yankees.
3-2 and a foul ball. Garver couldn't hang on. The Yankees haven't been able to get much from Jacoby Ellsbury, who's hurt again this year. '25th pitch coming up for Kyle Gibson. Hoping to put together his second straight 1-2-3 inning. High fly to center field. And Lamar puts it away. Gibson has had now 2 1-2-3 innings, and we're scoreless heading to the third. town, and it's University of Minnesota night at Target Field. A limited number of U of M theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a maroon and gold Twins cap. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/U of M or call 800-33-TWINS. Joey Votto and the Reds coming to Target Field starting tomorrow.
Looking forward to that.
I'm trying to think the last time the Reds haven't been to Minnesota since 2001.
Go watch Joey Votto play.
This will be first time the Reds have ever played at Target Field. Brian Dozier takes down and in. Announcement's just been made. Fouled back. Announcement's just been made that the Twins made a waiver claim from the New York Yankees. David Hale, who pitched here on Monday, kind of a long reliever type, was picked up by the Twins just now on a waiver claim, and the Twins will make a corresponding roster move after the game today. So the presumption is Hale will be with the club when we fly home later today. Fouled back. Hale with some time with the Atlanta Braves, the Colorado Rockies, and earlier this year, of course, with the New York Yankees. And so the Twins making some pitching moves, or at least one. Picking up David Hale. 1-2 to Brian Dozier. Wrap to third. Couple of hops to Andujar. One away. And that'll bring up Joe Mauer. Hit a sharp ground ball. Nice play by Gregorius going to his left. They got a force play at second. For a brief time, looked like it was a double play, but the Twins challenged it, and Mauer beat the relay to first base. You know, one of the side effects, side benefits of having replay in play, if you will, there is no excuse for a batter now not to run and bust his tail down the line. And you might say, well, there never was an excuse to do that anyway.
That's what I would say.
But I mean, Mauer hustled down the line and he was ruled out, but by a whisker. On replay, he beat the throw, and so there's even more incentive than there ever was to hustle down the line, and you might be the beneficiary of a close play. 2-0 now to Mauer. Hit a 3-1 pitch up the middle in the first inning. Up and in, 3-0. Sano on deck. Just some other background information on David Hale. He is 30 years old, an Atlanta native, and this is his 10th year of professional baseball. Mauer takes, of course, on 3-0. Has both started and relieved professionally. That the Twins in need of some bullpen help, and the hope is that Hale will provide some. Foul down the left field line into the seats, 3-2. Full count to Joe Mauer. Miguel Sano on deck. Off the handle of the bat softly. Gregorius makes the play, 2 away. Twins faced Hale on Monday, and in fact Joe Mauer struck out against him. The Yankees tried to send him through waivers, and the Twins picked him up. Escobar struck out. So on that basis, a great pickup by the Twins. All he does is strike people out. 2 down, and now Sano called out on strikes. His first time up.
Well, he was called out, yes.
Called out on ball 4, you think?
That's what I think.
See, it's frustrating, of course, when the team you're following has something like that happen. What really irks me, and we saw a lot of it earlier in the series, not so much if at all last night. The most frustrating thing for me as a fan is when the pitcher clearly has thrown a strike and it is not called a strike. Now, I know you're a hitter. You probably thought that part was okay. But just as a fan, when the ball is in the strike zone and it's not called a strike, to me that's much more frustrating than something near the outside corner that is called a strike.
Well, I don't disagree, and as a hitter, I'm still with you. I mean, a strike's a strike.
And should be called.
It should be called one, absolutely.
2-1 to Sano. And they're just, whether it's Carl Pavano pitching to Lance Berkman in the playoffs years ago or what we saw here on Monday and Tuesday, it tends to be the results tend to be exaggerated when that happens. 3-2.
Well, if we use Berrios' game as an example, I really believe that there were a couple of pitches, and you say, well, what's one pitch? First of all, it makes a huge difference. The count change between 2-1 and 1-2, for example. I mean, it makes a huge difference to a hitter, but it also makes a huge difference to a pitcher. I think the correct strike calls the other night when Berrios was pitching, in maybe 2 pitches, might have saved him 20 or 25 pitches and 2 or 3 runs because of what happened after that. So it is important.
Well, you talk about the difference between the count being 1-2 or 2-1. When it's strike 3 and it's not called.
That's worse. That's a lot. But I'm saying yes, both of those things.
Sano does draw a walk here in the 3rd with 2 down. That'll bring up Escobar. He went down swinging his first time up. Foul, back 1 strike.
And I think for fans, to your point, for fans, I can't think of any other single change, different trend to speed up games than for umpires to have to call all around the perimeter of the strike zone. Whatever, we show the box. You're looking at the box right now. That if the ball hits that box, call it.
Down and in, 1-1. Twins have had base runners on in all 3 innings. They've taken 3 walks from Montgomery, which is an encouraging sign. Just 1 hit in the game, and it came off the bat of Grossman, a 2-out double in the 2nd. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
As a hitter, I didn't mind if I got called out on a ball that was on the black. Okay, I got the guy made a great pitch. I can deal with that. If a guy can throw the ball on the corners all the time, I'll adjust and I'll do the best I can against that. What I couldn't stand is the ball being 3 or 4 inches outside and being called a strike. As a hitter, that's what you just can't figure out. There's nothing, you have no defense against that.
What we saw on Monday and Tuesday, as we show the rectangle now, the box, if you want to call it that, the pitch placed well within the box and the pitch not called a strike, and that's whatever pitching or calling pitches on the periphery of the strike zone or near it does to the game. When a pitcher throws it not down the middle but well within the rectangle and it's not called, well, then that drags the game down.
Oh gosh, yes.
1-2 to Escobar. Pulled foul. And the Twins have had a base runner at first, even in this case Sano. Montgomery makes it just about impossible to think of trying to run. I mean, he barely picks up that right foot, just strides to the plate. Seemed to be very difficult to steal against. 1-2. 2-2.
So one thing that's clear with Montgomery here in just the 3rd inning, we can see that he's just not going to give the Twins hitters very many fastballs to hit. He's going to be on the corner or inside, on the corner or outside or low in the strike zone. And I think sooner or later Twins have to just sit on soft stuff and take the fastballs till they get to 2 strikes. He just doesn't want to throw his fastball for anywhere close. We talk about inner third or outer third. He's right now with fastballs. He's on the corner, on the perimeter, either corner or low at the knees, or off of that, lower or further out or further in. He does not want to throw a good fastball strike.
Austin holding Sano, who takes off, and the pitch grounded foul.
Another breaking ball, 3-2 breaking ball. By this time now, the Twins hitters, I think, need to go up and say, okay, I'm going to look for a breaking ball, a curve ball. Look for a changeup if you want. He throws enough of them, and if you're looking for a changeup, you could probably adjust to that curve ball. But if you're going up there looking for a fastball and trying to adjust, I think that's going to be tough duty. He's just not going to throw you enough fastballs to make it worth it.
Now, even on 3-2, what if he throws him a fastball?
Well, you got to do the best you can now. You fight that off. I mean, you just have to be. You have to fight off the fastball and be ready for something slower.
Check to make sure that Sano stays put, that he doesn't leave prematurely.
Best thing you can do as a hitter right here against a guy like this is try to hit the ball to the opposite field. Say, I'm going to hit a fastball to the opposite field, which is going to make me see it longer, and then I'll see the breaking ball and the changeup as well. But forget your pull field. This
one hit deep to right center field. Hit a long way to the gap. It is gone. A home run for Eduardo Escobar. Into the Yankee bullpen, and the Twins jump out in front 2-0.
That is just wonderful hitting by Eduardo Escobar there. His first time up, way out in front of a breaking ball for strike 3, swinging, missed strike 3. He battled until he got to 3-2. Not trying to get out in front of that pitch, just seeing it a long time. Hit it the other way and has enough power to get it into that jet stream. That's Yankee Stadium right center, and hit it in the seats. Great swing.
A 2-out walk to Sano, and then on a 3-2 pitch, Escobar puts the Twins up 2-0. Here's Mitch Garver. Strike on the outside corner. Escobar's third of the year. Not the biggest guy in the world, but he's got surprising power in that we've seen him do it from both sides of the plate. Hit opposite field home runs.
He's got tremendous leg drive for a little guy. He generates power all with the back leg driving into the front into a firm front leg. It's really nice to watch. But what I love about that swing is the direction the ball went. Against this particular pitcher, with the way the stuff that he's thrown up there, the fact that he could throw literally anything from fastball to curveball to slower curve to change.
Well, we've talked about the close quarters here down the lines. 318 down the line to left, 314 down the line to right. That ball was hit close to the 385 marker and over the wall in right center field.
Now you look right here, you see that you can just see the drive of the back leg driving into the front leg. That's where he gets it.
Now Garver headed in the same direction.
Yep.
Gets a base hit. And that'll bring up Max Kepler.
2 really good quality at bats in a row right there, going opposite gap against the left-hander that just is not going to give you stuff that fastballs that you want to pull. Just you have to be able to take what you figure out a pitcher's trying to do. What he's trying to do is keep the Twins' big end of the bats out of their pull field.
We talked last night about Logan Morrison's swing being kind of long, and Paul Molitor was asked about Kepler's success against lefties early on here, and Paul said something that I thought was curious. His finish is long, but his swing isn't. All right, now what's that mean?
Well, it's a great question and a great comment by Paul. The way you hit is with extension, but your extension should happen after the ball, right at contact and after, not early. So a long swing, you start unwinding your arms early, and that's what gives you the sweep. Max Kepler is more directly to the ball and then extends right at contact and beyond. That's what you want.
1-0. So far, left-handers 0 for 3 tonight. Mauer's 0 for 2. Kepler's 0 for 1. They've all put the ball in play. But left-handed batters are 0 for 9 against Jordan Montgomery. After what he did last year, most teams don't even bother putting left-handers in unless it's unavoidable. And it is with this Twins roster. 2-0 to Kepler. (3-0) with Grossman on deck.
So what Max is going to learn, and you're going to have Justin Morneau with you in the booth this weekend, which is going to be great to hear Justin talk about the game. Justin learned, and Max will, that you can set left-handed pitchers up and have an awful lot of fun against them.
And a strike called. 35th pitch of the inning. Kepler thought it was ball 4.
And what Justin learned is that instead of trying to pull left-handers and getting beat by slower breaking balls and balls in the outside corner, he just looked to hit the ball the other way. If he got a ball from the middle out, he'd drive it down the left field line or to left center, enabled him to wait longer on breaking balls. Once he did that, then he could look inside. Guys would say, oh, I got to come in, and he's looking away. I got to come in. Now you can look in and hit the ball a long way to right field. You can try to pull the ball, and then they'll go right back out there. And then you start hitting the ball to left field again, or you start looking for breaking balls and hit those. And then here they'll come back inside. But if you step up there and try to hit everything to your pull field, that's when you see left-handers not able to hit the breaking ball. They're not able to see the outside corner. Max is starting to learn how to do that, I think.
3-2 to Kepler. And Garver goes, and the pitch swung on and missed. Kepler strikes out. But the Twins got a big 2-out hit. It went over the fence with Sano aboard. Escobar's home run, putting the Twins up 2-0. The third inning, a 2-run home run. MLB At Bat is your #1 Twins app. You can customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Twins home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Dick Bramer, Roy Smalley, Marty Gelder. Final game of the road trip, and the Twins leading here in the third 2-0. Tyler Austin will lead things off in the third against Kyle Gibson, and he misses inside, ball 1. 6 up, 6 down for Gibson. 3 strikeouts along the way. Big swing and a foul, 1-1. Austin with a 3-run home run in the ball game last night, added a double, made a great play on a pop-up in the fog last night in a key spot. 1-1. Foul up against that front leg, and it's 1-2. Twins come home to open up a series with the Reds. Yankees fly across the country. They take on the Angels starting tomorrow.
Last pitch, a good two-seam fastball running in under the hands. See if he, after showing him that pitch, see if he won't come back with a breaking ball in the outside corner.
Half swing got him.
Yep.
Another check swing strikeout. He got Sanchez on the same pitch in the second inning.
Just a great pitch sequence there by Kyle Gibson, and we're talking about the fastball setting up the other pitches. When you can run a fastball in on a right-hander like that, ball just bearing in on him, and he's got to rush to get the bat head out. Now look at him open up so quick. He said, "Oh, you're not going to get in there again," and just swings at the first thing he sees because he's afraid to get jammed. Really good sequence of pitches there.
And Duhar, the batter, taking ball one. And an off-speed pitch, 2-0.
See if you can make a quality pitch and get back in the count here. 2-0. Stay out of the middle, but throw a strike. Can you do that?
Ooh. Just off the corner.
Man, that's a good try.
Gibson reacted like he thought it hit the strike zone.
Yep. Very close. I mean, you couldn't really gripe if it had called a strike if you were a hitter.
There's the outside corner, 3-1. You like the idea of a electronic strike zone?
I do. I really do. And it's for all the reasons that we've been talking about it. You could talk to Justin about it because he and I, Justin Morneau, he and I talked about it. He actually changed my mind about that.
3-2. I think it's inevitable, and whether you think it's going to happen in 5 years or 15 years, if it's going to happen, why not do it sooner rather than later?
Well, the big problem you have is that what do you do with calls at the plate? You know, you can't make an umpire stand up there and take the abuse that you can take behind the catcher if he's not calling balls and strikes. So I don't get how that's going to work.
I've got that figured out.
Okay.
Dribbled foul. Behind home plate, you have the home plate umpire on a Segway. And if there's a play at the plate, he just moves forward,
Dick,
makes the safe or out call, then goes back.
You don't have it figured out yet.
You don't think that would work?
I don't think that's gonna be the solution there.
3-2 to Andujar. And another bounder foul.
What Justin Morneau, we were standing around the cage back a few years ago, and Justin brought that up, and he said what I just said a second ago, and I hadn't thought. I always felt this way, but I hadn't thought about it. Being a traditionalist, I thought I don't know that I want the electronics. And I said, Justin, what about that one? He just barely, little piece of the ball, the inside of the ball clips the outside part of the laser beam, and you're called out. By just that much. And he said, I can live with that. I can't live, just what I said, I can't live with the balls 4 inches outside that they're calling. I'll adjust to the other piece of it. And that's what I've always thought too, but I didn't relate it to the electronics, and that's when I started changing my mind about the idea.
And Duhar's wearing out Gibson here. A lot of 2-strike fouls. This is the 9th pitch of this at bat or plate appearance, whichever the case may be. Gibson hopes it's his 5th strikeout. Got him with the breaking ball again.
Great at bat. Great at bat for Gibson. Worked his way back into the count, kept pounding inside, and then finally because of all those inside fastballs that Andujar was out in front of down the left field line. He finally got him on that curveball. That's nice pitching.
And now Gleyber Torres, the number 9 batter. Gibson with 5 strikeouts in the first 8 at bats, and nobody's reached first base. Breaking ball over for a called strike.
A big one.
And another one for another called strike. He bailed on the first one. He hung in there a little bit better on the second one, but not much better.
It'll be fun to see where Gibson and Garver go now. 2 curveballs in a row for strike. Do they pound it inside a little bit, or do they go right back to it?
Wow.
Yep. Good for
9 up, 9 down. 6 strikeouts for Kyle Gibson. An encouraging start to the ball game, but it is just the start of the ball game. Brought to you by visitbuyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Twins trying to get out of town with a win. Kyle Gibson has done a wonderful job so far here, and he's already been able to do something that no other Twin starter has done in this series, and that is put some zeros up early, 3 of them in fact. And we'll see if he can continue to do that, and we'll see if the Twins hitters can expand the lead here. It's 2-0 thanks to the Escobar home run in the 3rd, and now Grossman, Adrianza, and Lamar will hit in the 4th. Grossman doubled into the left field corner with 2 outs in the 2nd. His first time up, now to the right field corner and deep. Stanton chasing it, and he gets there on the warning track. Stanton has shown he's so much more comfortable in right field than left. Kind of a similar ball last night to left, and he almost screwed himself into the ground.
Well, I will tell you this, left field in Yankee Stadium is one of the tougher places to play outfield that there is in baseball. That's a big acreage out there, and the guys that have played, I'm very impressed with all the guys through Yankee history that have played that well. It's kind of the reverse of playing left field well in Fenway.
And now Adrianza, who drew a walk his first time up. Popped up, and it'll reach the seats. 1-1. Adrianza's done a nice job in the field when given a chance to play short, and with the left-hander Montgomery going, perfect opportunity to get him out there. Twins will face right-handed starting pitching in the Reds series. Luis Castillo, Sal Romano, and Tyler Mahle.
First two hitters of this inning here in the fourth. Montgomery has changed. A lot of fastballs for strikes that we haven't seen. There's another high fastball
near the mound, and Duhar squeezes it 2 down, and that'll bring up Lamar.
So we'll see if the Yankee pitcher is going to change his tune here just a little bit. Pitched the first 3 innings like he didn't want anybody coming near a fastball that they could do some damage on. Now, and throwing a lot of breaking balls and changeups. Now all of a sudden, the 2 hitters here in the fourth, he's throwing a lot of fastballs.
And Lamar waiting for it, fouling it back to the screen. 1 strike. Lamar struck out swinging, stranding a couple of runners in the second. Twins have 3 hits, and the day after a game where they were starving for a 2-out hit, all 3 hits have come with 2 outs. And Lamar quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Pitch counts up for Montgomery. This will be pitch number 85. On the outside corner. And Montgomery, after giving up a couple in the third, breezes through a 1-2-3 4th inning. Aaron Judge will celebrate his birthday by going 0 for 4 tonight. At least that's what the Twins hope. American League Central. Now Cleveland's on top, but they lost Andrew Miller last night. He strained his left hamstring delivering a pitch last night, so they put him on the 10-day disabled list, and he is the subject of the Sanford Health injury report. Brett Gardner to lead off the 4th against Kyle Gibson, who's been perfect through 3 innings. Pitch up a little bit, ball 1. Gardner, Judge, and Gregorius, with the Twins up 2-0. And now taking low, 2-0. .43 pitches for Gibson, 28 strikes, nearly 2-to-1 strike-to-ball ratio, which is good. Missing inside, 3-0.
Well, he's thrown a lot of strikes, and he's thrown a lot of quality strikes, and he's been in a situation like this one a couple of times here, 2-0 and 3-1, 2-1 when he's has had to come back and been able to do it. Not this time.
4-pitch walk to start the fourth. And that will bring Judge to the plate as a tying run. I've always been impressed with Gardner as a player, but my goodness, wouldn't you love to hit in front of what follows him in this Yankee lineup?
Yes, and his whole career here has been.
Yes,
he's had that great luxury, but he's been a terrific leadoff hitter for just what we saw there. Even when he's not swinging the bat great, he can get on base.
There's a breaking ball for strike one. Judge went down swinging his first time up, and Gibson picked up 6 strikeouts on a perfect first trip through the Yankee batting order. Missing the inside corner with a fastball. No one swung at a pitch yet. Gibson's misfired with 5 pitches out of the 6 this inning.
And misfire may be overstating it just a little bit, Dick, because he's been very close, and that's the impressive thing about him so far. And the walk was bad, but he was right there at the zone. Just didn't get calls. Not saying that they were strikes.
Sano was asking for a look at this, saying that either Gardner disengaged the bag or somehow he got the tag on it. Let's take a look here. He came off the bag.
Oh, wow.
And Gardner, I think, is going to be called out here if the Twins see what we just showed you. Jammed into the bag, and then his hand came off. And so the Twins are asking for a challenge. They're second already here in the early innings. They won the first one. So alert catch by Sano, who realized that Gardner jammed his hand into the bag, but that the hand itself came off the first base bag. At least that's what we believe we saw. And Gardner tried to swing the left hand back around on the bag, but it sure looked as if for a while his right hand was off the bag, while Sano, who's not used to doing that, let's tip our cap to that as well, keeping the tag on him, and he is out.
Nice by Miguel Sano.
And an alert play by Sano, keeping his eyes on the play and keeping his glove on the runner. That doesn't happen very often. You see it happen all the time at second base, but it's not very often you see it happen at first. One and one now to Aaron Judge with the bases empty, and Gibson can go back to what he calls the windup. Not much of a departure between his stretch position and his windup. 2-1. Big swing and a miss. 2-2. Foul tip.
And again, Gibson coming in under the hands of these good right-hand hitters, the power hitters, in off the plate, forcing them to either take it when it's close or try to fight that ball off, and it sets everything else up.
And now 3-2, and Gibson, who just cleaned off the bases with the pickoff, doesn't want to put Judge back at first base. Nine pitches this inning thrown by Gibson, just 2 strikes. Got him with a breaking ball in the first.
And would be great if he could come back with that same one this time.
Checked his swing. No, and it's back-to-back walks. And Gregorius will come up, as Judge did, representing the tying run. Time now for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And Gregorius has done a number on the Twins. Even before they got here, he had a home run. And he's the first Yankee shortstop to homer in 4 straight games. Remember when John Mattingly hit in 8 straight. Twins were part of that. I remember him banging a couple of them, I believe 2 of them over the baggie at the Metrodome in right field. Down and away. Gibson misses again. Locked in through 3. But now back-to-back walks in the 4th. Find a way to get through this inning and get back in control of things. High fly, left center field. Lamar says he's got it measured. And he makes the catch. Judge retreats to first. That's a big out.
Yes, it is. Good to get back in the strike zone. Get the hottest hitter on a hot hitting Yankee team out. Get your second out.
And now you
got a chance. Yep, you got a chance. You got a strikeout prone guy up there now. You can get out of this inning if you can get back and as sharp as you've been. Get back to being as sharp as you've been.
Stanton hit a ground ball to Escobar his first time up. Breaking ball. Strike 1 call.
A little dangerous in there with the breaking ball. Probably the pitch selection got Stanton there. He's either taken all the way or he's looking fastball. That's dangerous in there. He's made some good ones out away from right-hand hitters. That's where he's going again.
Foul tip, 2 strikes.
That's the good one right there.
Gibson, who struggled with control of his fastballs, maybe trying to get out of this 4th inning with the breaking ball.
Not a bad idea at all.
Last pitch brought to you by Jeep in a real good spot.
You just can't throw a better breaking ball than that.
0-2 to Stanton. Shows him a fastball up high.
I like that. Change the eye angle. Show him something straight with speed. A hitter has to respect the fastball. No hitter wants to get beat on the fastball, have the ball get thrown by him, and you have to show him that high sometimes, inside sometimes, to make the breaking ball effective.
Where was it? Strike 3 is called. The pitch out of the zone, but first base umpire Sam Holbrook said Stanton went around. A couple of walks to start the inning. No harm, no foul, and another scoreless, hitless inning for Kyle Gibson. They'd be well advised to add to the 2-0 lead. Sunday, the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series heads to Talladega for the Geico 500. Get ready for all the fast-paced, heart-thumping action from the Super Speedway starting at 12:30 Central on Fox. Stream it live if you'd like on Fox Sports Go. Brian Dozier will lead off the 5th for the Twins. He has walked and bounced to 3rd.
What a great time for a jagged number here to be thrown up there on the board by the Twins. Brian Dozier leading off.
Pitch count up for Montgomery at 85, and he delivers strike 1.
See if they can have 4, 5, 6 quality at bats here right in a row.
Fouled away, 0-2. It was a notable day in Twins history, and I think you were there on this date in 1986. You have any idea what happened?
Well, I don't know. We beat somebody in the Metrodome.
The Angels were in town.
Is this when the roof came down?
Yes. Just missing, and it's 1-2. Thunderstorm with a, what do they call it, a downdraft or whatever, caused the fabric to recess a little bit, got snagged on a bolt, and the fabric started ripping, and air was gushing out of the Metrodome, and the lights and the speakers were descending on the seats in right field. Here's a pop-up behind second base, and Dozier's retired, 1 away. There was a delay. Everybody was ushered out of the ballpark. They turned the fans on high. The Twins had, I think, a 5-run lead at the time, as Gary Pettis and I were trying to reminisce about it during the homestand. And because the fans were turned on high, and in part because the Twins didn't have a very good pitching staff that year, Angels came back with 3 2-run home runs and won the ball game in the 8th inning. Balls were flying out like Titleists. I mean, it was unbelievable. Here's Mauer up the middle. And from deep center field, Mauer's thrown out. A heck of a play by Gleyber Torres. From short center field behind the second base bag, he's able to make the play, 2 down. And now Montgomery has kind of settled into a bit of a groove here.
I thought that was going to find its way to be a hit when I was watching Gregorius. Oh.
And they're going to challenge, or at least look at this one. The Twins will not challenge it. I think they thought perhaps Austin's foot came off the bag.
Yep.
And Mauer will retreat, 2 outs.
Thought Joe had a real good chance for a hit there. Gregorius started to go after it and then quit. It looked like maybe the two of them, Gregorius and Torres, would be confused on who was going to take it, but Torres made a nice play.
Montgomery had a quick 1, 2, 3, 4th, and now the first 2 outs in the 5th have come quickly. Here's Sano. Strike 1. And a fastball high. You were part of that Twins team in '86, weren't you?
Yep. I remember when it happened. It was one of the most amazing things was watch the big light standard out in center field just slowly come down and set itself down on the seats in the upper deck and center.
Up high, 2-1.
Surreal sight.
George Hendrick hit one. Wally Joyner hit one. 2-1 to Miguel Sano.
Couple of pretty good hitters right there you just mentioned.
They didn't need any help.
They didn't need help.
A little dribbler, going to be a tough play. Montgomery fields and safe at first. And we'll see if the Yankees challenge that call. It looked from up here like Sano crossed the bag for an infield hit. And Aaron Boone holds up his left hand. That's his signal for we're going to take a look at that.
Well, I thought he beat it. Let's see.
I don't think they will overturn it. I don't think the Yankees will challenge it.
I don't think if they do challenge it, I don't think it'll get overturned.
We will play on, and Escobar will again hit with 2 out and Sano at first. He did this in the 3rd inning and hit one into the bullpen in right field. Breaking ball over, strike 1. Escobar blasted a 3-2 pitch over the wall in right center. Now inside, 1-1. Escobar has enjoyed hitting in this series. Trying to get another big hit here. And this third inning home run, the only scoring so far.
Great swing after battling at bat, fouled off pitches. Saw just about everything Montgomery has, from fastball to curveball to changeup. Finally got a fastball out over the plate that Escobar juiced into the. Oh, I shouldn't say juice. Helped him hit it.
Don't say that.
Helped to hit him into the right center field. Both.
Stanton with the catch, and the Twins are done in the fifth. Have seen in the middle innings as well. Fox Sports supports the Minnesota National Guard and Mall of America celebrate the month of the military child, and we're encouraging military families to submit a photo depicting what it's like for your child to be in a military family. For details and criteria for photo submission, visit foxsportsnorth.com/events. Still 2-0 Twins. Gibson still is not allowed a hit. He'll face Gary Sanchez, Aaron Hicks, Tyler Austin. You are a second-generation baseball guy. Your dad was a very good major league player. Your uncle, of course, Gene Mauch. Do you follow the baseball superstition about not mentioning a no-hitter before it is broken up?
I wouldn't worry about it up here. I wouldn't be talking about it on the bench right now. I actually was in the original of these two stadiums, the original Yankee Stadium. Played shortstop behind Dave Righetti, and when Rags no-hit the Boston Red Sox on 4th of July 1983, and we did not say anything for about 4 innings.
See, I can understand that if you're around the person who's throwing the no-hitter, but my goodness, we're 100 yards away from Gibson, and I don't think that. I know there's nothing we can say up here that's going to impact what's happened on the field. For heaven's sakes, if there was, we wouldn't have lost 103 ball games 2 years ago. Swinging a foul, 2-2. Sanchez, Hicks, and Austin. This series started with the Yankees acknowledging David Wells in his perfect game against the Twins in the 4th game of a 4-game series.
Playing behind a pitcher pitching a no-hitter is the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my life.
Really?
In my life on a baseball field, absolutely. My heart was in my throat for the last 9 outs.
Sanchez takes low, and it's another 3-ball count from Gibson. Pitch count is climbing. Yankees are taking, but it's still just 61 pitches thrown, and Gibson's gotten a dozen outs.
He's been very efficient. He has stayed out of the middle of the plate for the most part. When he has been in the middle of the plate, it's kind of fooled the Yankee hitters. It's been excellent to this point, obviously.
Driven to left.
We got a guy there.
1 down. So Gibson has gotten 13 outs, and let's go to Marty Gelder.
That outfield combination today, guys, Robbie Grossman in left, Lamar in center, Kepler in right. And Ryan Lamar was telling me today how big communication is for these guys. He said you have to talk a lot out there, but you also have to listen a lot out there. And you know the outfielders get that little note card with the hitter info on it, the cheat sheet. He said that is really big too with positioning, making sure these guys are in the right spots for the right hitters. And you think about it, since Byron Buxton went on the DL, we've had a lot of different outfield combinations, almost different from game to game, and that can be a real challenge for these guys, but they've handled it pretty well.
Thank you, Marty. Hicks out in front of the off-speed pitch, strike 1. Trying to figure out the other day what we should call Marty, because sometimes she's on the sideline and is a baseline reporter. Sometimes, like here at Yankee Stadium, she could be out in the monuments in center field. We never know where exactly she is. Hicks takes low, and I think what we determined the title should be, what was it, broadcast enhancer?
Broadcast enhancer, absolutely. And in some cases, broadcast savior.
Yeah, that's true. 1-1 to Aaron Hicks. That's kind of like a food additive, though. You know, I mean, that's. Do you think she'd like that title, broadcast enhancer?
Well, I mean, if you're enhancing something, I think it's nothing but positive.
It'd be intended as a compliment, to be sure. 2-1 to Hicks. Gibson's fallen into a pattern of falling behind batters. And another 3-ball count. He sailed through the Yankee order the first time through because he was pitching ahead, and I'm not so sure he hasn't fallen behind every hitter the second time through the batting order. A lot of 3-ball counts and 2 walks. And now 3-2. Tyler Austin will bat next.
He got away with one there. We got behind. We talked about against the Yankees, and especially in Yankee Stadium, you can't walk people and you want to stay out of the middle of the play. 3-1, hitters count, looking for a fastball, got one right in the middle, and that's where that's on the hitter. He got the pitch he wanted and fouled it back. Now see if you can punish him for that. Make a good pitch here, get away with it.
Breaking ball, got him. Hicks missed the 3-1 fastball and then waved at strike 3.
Well, sometimes it takes a little luck to turn things around too. Gibson's been very, very good. Got away with a 3-1 fastball there and then made a great pitch to close the deal right there. Great pitch. So easy, 3-2, not wanting to walk somebody to hang that curveball right there. It was so easy to do, and he snapped off a good one.
Tyler Austin struck out on a check swing his first time up against Gibson. Big swing and a miss. You know, it's like the Yankees second time through the order held a team meeting and said, hey, look, let's try to wait this guy out. Let's try to take some pitches, because they've been much more patient the second time through the order than they were the first time.
Also, Gibson wasn't as close to the strike zone the second time through too, so the pitches they were taking, they were legitimate pitches to take. But the Yankees are very good. They've been this way for 20 years. The Yankee hitter lineup, it seems that they really work the count, and it doesn't mean that they take pitches and they go up there taking. It means they want to, each hitter goes up and says, here's the pitch I want. If it's not that, I'm taking it. And they see a lot of pitches that way, and then they get a lot of balls in the middle of the plate that way.
2 strikes to Austin. And now 1-2. 72 pitches now for Gibson, trying to wrap up the 5th inning. Foul back.
And he got away with that one as well. You can see just the body language. Austin there. That's a pitch that he knows could have been in the seats as easily as fouled back. That's a hanger. That's a bit of a hanger right there. And he had a home run swing at it. Just didn't square it up.
1-2 to Tyler Austin.
Again, make him pay now for not hitting that pitch.
Got him on a check swing. And Gibson has a 1-2-3-5. He's got 5 no-hit innings here in the Bronx. Message for the opportunity to be featured in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle during our broadcast and receive $100 in scratch tickets. With the Minnesota Lottery, every day is a game day. And the Yankees go into their bullpen now with the Twins leading 2-0. Jordan Montgomery giving up those 2 runs over 5 innings, but it looked like he pitched his best in his last 2 innings. It'll be Domingo Germán pitching for the Yankees. Germán with 3 prior games, 7 1/3 innings, a lot of strikeouts, but too many walks. And it'll be Mitch Garver leading off the 6th, then Max Kepler and Robbie Grossman. Garver singled to right his last time up. Now a strike. Since the end of the ball game last night, the Twins have made 2 pitching moves, designating Tyler Kinley for assignment, the Rule 5 pitcher the Twins carried, and then adding Aaron Slegers to the roster. And during the game today, the Twins claimed David Hale, a right-handed pitcher off of waivers from the Yankees. Now regarding Kinley, he's very much in limbo. He has no idea what is going to happen. He does know that he'll be flying back to Minnesota with the team that just designated him for assignment. So he'll be on our flight home, and then he'll have to wait and see whether someone claims him on waivers. Here's David Hale, who will be presumably on the flight with us back home to Minnesota. A couple innings in the ball game here on Monday. 2-2 to Garver. That's down the line and foul by about 3 feet. For Kinley, a lot of different things can happen. He can not be claimed and be offered back to the Marlins, and they'll pick him up. The Twins could, after he passes through waivers, offer to keep Kinley in the organization, in the Twins organization, and compensate the Marlins somehow. Or they can let him go back to the organization from whence he came. 2-2 on the outside corner, one down, and that'll bring up Kepler.
Nasty pitch there, 97 miles an hour, kind of slung from the side a little bit, right on the outside corner. Tough pitch. Interesting delivery, just kind of a slinger. He hides the ball. Everything comes at you at once. Let's sling it out there. Movement, 97.
And now Kepler. Kepler with a ground ball and a strikeout against the left-hander Jordan Montgomery. Strike on the outside corner. Just up or in or both
or something, or a high strike that just doesn't get called. There's another spot of inconsistency. I've maintained that I think the outside corner for the most part is a guess for umpires, and the high strike is inconsistent from umpire to umpire.
Kepler with a well-timed swing and foul, 1-2. High pop-up.
He just missed that one. Just missed it.
And Sanchez can't make the play. Looking up into the sun, and Sanchez tried to one-hand it but didn't catch it. I don't even think it hit his glove. So a reprieve for Kepler.
We see the pitch here. He got the big end of the bat to the ball, just got underneath it. Now Sanchez battling the sun like crazy, trying to find it, and you're right, I don't think he drew leather.
Another strike for Kepler. Off the end of the bat, and Herman makes the play, 2 down. And that'll bring up Robbie Grossman. I mean, off the end of the bat. Most hitters now swing a bat that's cupped at the end, and sometimes when the ball hits that part of the bat, you'll see the end chip off. Did you? That was kind of coming into vogue toward the end of your career.
Just started. Yep.
Yeah. Did you do that?
Yeah, it made sense to me that there's weight out there. You don't want to hit the ball at the end of the bat anyway. It's weight out there it's pretty meaningless. So if you want to swing for example, a 32-ounce bat, and you take a half an ounce or so out of the end of the bat where you don't want to hit it, then you got more weight where you do want to hit it, right? So now they have all kinds of posters in clubhouses about the bats that can be used legally and what. Oh, that ball's
drive to right field. Judge going back, or Stanton rather, leaps, and that ball is gone. I believe a home run for Robbie Grossman, just out of the reach of Giancarlo Stanton. And the Twins now lead 3-0. And Grossman connects on his first of the year, and the Twins again this afternoon doing some 2-out damage.
Not known to be a high ball hitter, but Robbie Grossman got a fastball up, put a great swing on it. Stanton just missed getting a glove on that as it bounced off the top of the fence, and Robbie picks up a big extra run right there.
Escobar's home run in the third came with 2 out, and now Adrianza will bat in a 3-0 ball game. Up and away, ball 1. Swing and a miss. Adrianza is a right-handed batter, walked and popped up. That's hit hard to center field. But Hicks is there to catch the line drive and the third out. When Kyle Gibson takes the mound in the 6th, he will have a 3-0 lead, having not allowed a hit so far this afternoon. Well, thank you, Tom. Kyle Gibson with the first pitch, breaking ball, and strike one to Miguel Andujar, who will lead off the 6th for New York. Then Gleyber Torres and Brett Gardner. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Gibson has issued 2 walks. The first walker was picked off. That was Gardner in the 4th. Then Judge followed with a walk. And the Yankees have yet to pick up a hit. 2 strikes. 1-2. Foul. Saw Andujar do that a lot in his first at bat before finally striking out. He hit 5 of those in his 3rd inning at bat.
Well, it's pretty clear to me that Andujar wants to hit the fastball. He looks like a good fastball hitter, and he wants to hit it to left field. So that running fastball in on him, he's going to have a pretty good chance of pounding that foul as the ball runs in toward him. Gibson did a good job of staying in there, pounding it inside, and then getting him on the breaking ball away.
Got him. Another strikeout for Kyle Gibson, who's gotten so many swings and misses on his off-speed stuff.
Looked like a changeup right there with a lot of good down and in movement.
All 10 strikeouts have been swinging strikeouts. 1 down. And now Torres. Sharply hit. Nice pickup
play
by Escobar, and he throws him out. Eduardo Escobar with the hardest hit ball hit towards him, and he picks it off and turns it into an out.
Beautiful play by Escobar, and we're going to see it again. He keeps his glove low and his arm relaxed and then comes up with it. you can move quickly from down to up as an infielder, but not the other way around. And he did a wonderful job there. Watch his gloves come up, pick it. Strong throw across the diamond. Nice play.
2 down and a couple of quick outs in the 6th, given Gibson's pitch count, which has now reached 80. And Gardner will bat. Low, ball 1.
All you youngsters out there, infielders, feel from low to high. Your glove hand moves very quickly from low to a bat hop up. Doesn't go the other way. You carry your glove high and try to go down, you're not going to be successful.
And a strike call. It's 1-1. The Yankees seemingly didn't swing and miss once in the first 3 games of this series. And Gibson has 10 swinging strikeouts. Missed inside 2-1.
He's done a fantastic job of mixing locations and speeds. We talk about in and out and back and forth. He's done that beautifully. Inside with fastballs, outside with fastballs and breaking balls, hard fastballs, changeups and curveballs, which is the back and forth part.
Missed high with a breaking ball, and Gardner's up there with a 3-ball count again. He drew a walk in the 4th. Base hit. And Gibson visibly frustrated as he stalks off the mound. So good with his location, and it looked like he left one down the middle for Gardner, and he punished it.
He did, and Gibson's upset with himself on location. You're exactly right. Not necessarily, not just because he got a hit, but to fall behind 3-1 and then throw it right there, threw it right in the middle of the plate, and he just really bearing down. He's pitched so well, really trying to throw the ball where he wants to throw it, and just didn't do it that at bat to Gardner.
And so Garver going to the mound just to give Gibson a little bit of a breather and let his emotions calm down.
Yep, good trip.
Obviously the first trip to the mound by anybody. And Gibson gives up the hit, but with 2 outs in the inning and a dangerous hitter now standing in, Aaron Judge.
Right. You just need to immediately get your emotions back under control and stay positive and stay pumped up. You've been pumped up for the whole ball game. You can't afford to let down now with these guys coming up. You got to get right back to what you were doing.
There's the outside corner.
Perfect.
Gets ahead.
Perfect.
Breaking ball low. Backhanded by Garver, 2-1. Judge struck out swinging in the 1st, drew the walk right after Gardner was picked off of 1st in the 4th. Way out in front of that breaking ball again. Results would suggest that this is the best breaking ball Kyle Gibson has ever had in the big league.
There's not a doubt in my mind that it is. As I mentioned earlier, it's the trajectory of it, the break that he has on it, and you see that corner of the rectangle that we're showing you. He has hit that spot or just below it time after time. Just perfect spots.
2-2 to Judge. And now 3-2 with Gregorius on deck. And now the Twins, who just saw the lead go from 2-0 to 3-0 in the top half of this inning, might allow Gibson to pitch Judge a little more aggressively here. He does not want to walk him. Duffy getting loose in the pen. Full count, 2 down. Gardner will take off.
Got to make a pitch.
And he walked him. First and second with 2 down, and now Gregorius. Yankees threatening Garvin Alston to the mound, and our Coors timeless moment. D. Gregorius has 9 homers and 29 runs batted in. Now the 29 runs batted in 23 games, you have to go back 110 years to find a shortstop who's done that. And I didn't have time to look it up, but
it wasn't me.
Was it Hannes Wagner? That was a long time ago. And Gregorius today has struck out swinging and hit a fly ball to center. Two outs, but then 2 base runners, and now Gregorius as the tying run.
Well, tough duty here with one of the hotter hitters in baseball up at the plate, and Gibson has been so good at moving the ball around and changing speeds. He's got to do it at least one more time here.
Pitches up, a fastball, ball 1. First time the Yankees have had a runner at second base. Fouled back, and Gregorius was right on that fastball.
Fastball out over the plate on the outside corner, a little higher than probably Kyle wanted it, but again, not in the middle. Makes a huge difference. Just those 6 inches from the middle of the corner make a big difference.
Breaking ball low, and it's 2-1.
That's the thing about Gregorius, I think, that makes him so important and significant as a 3rd or 4th hitter in this lineup. You get the rest of the guys will chase that once in a while. He just doesn't seem to, ever.
To center field, lazily hit to Lamar, and the inning ends. And the only difficulty the Gibsons run into today, he's managed to pitch out of it as the Yankees strand 2. Is brought to you by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, he's got me on the Twins, but not.
And our Pepsi fans of the game with the Twins leading. We found a Twins fan on his phone saying, you know what, I saw Kyle Gibson pitch 6 shutout innings here and finally figure out how you have a chance to beat the Yankees. Don't know what's going to happen here, but you have a chance now if you only give up 1 hit over 6 innings.
Well, you have a chance if you mix pitches and speeds and locations as well as he's done it today. He's been really outstanding, phenomenal for 6 innings.
Lamar will lead things off against Herman, taking strike 1, now ball 1. Twins would do well to add more runs, but I know I'm preaching to the choir because Twins fans have seen this story fall apart to a really bad ending many times. 3-0, and Lamar tries to change the scoreboard with a big swing. 2-2.
I believe they need 2 more runs, Dick, if for no other reason than to make me feel better about everything.
Checked his swing. 3-2. Lamar can run, so his presence on the bases would be very helpful with the lineup turning over and Dozier hitting next. Zach Duke warming up. There is ball 4, and Lamar draws potentially an awfully big walk, leading off the 7th inning. This summer, the World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1. Every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. World's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. And now Dozier 0 for 2 with a walk.
Good job by Lamar to get on with nobody out, leading off the inning. See if the Twins can bring him around. It's a big run out there. Very big run. Potential run.
Breaking ball over strike 1. We'll mention it again in the hopes that at some point Brian will change it. Brian's last home run coming up on April 4th in Pittsburgh. He hit 4 of them in 3 days and has not homered since. Sanchez threw out a base runner here the other night. Lamar capable of stealing a base. Twins have the top of the order up and might not be apt to send him here, but they have timed Herman to the plate. Leg kick, and Dozier squares and pulls the bat back, and it's 1-1.
I don't know the time that they have on the stopwatch to which you refer, Dick, in terms of how long it takes Herman to get the ball to the plate, but it looks to me it'll all depend on how they feel about Ryan Lamar's ability to get a decent jump and get to second. It appears to me that Herman is slow enough to warrant at least thinking about it. And I know Paul's thinking about this run. That's an awfully big run this stage of the game to get to 4.
That was a while ago, but in one season Lamar stole 55 bases in the minor leagues. And Dozier takes outside 2-1. And Herman not the most seasoned pitcher either, with the distraction at first base and a dangerous hitter at the plate. Sometimes Lamar can stay put and still be a big factor in distracting the pitcher from throwing strikes. A dangerous pitch to a dangerous hitter. Strike called, and Lamar gets back to the bag, and a nice pick at by Austin. That ball was headed into the right field corner, but Austin got it on the first hop.
That's a terrific play. You have no idea how good that play that is. That Ball skipping off the grass like that, and we talked about having your glove come from low to high. That's a great play right there. It could very easily have been down the right field corner. Austin has acquitted himself very well over there at first base in this series. That's for sure.
That was one of the nicest catches on a foul pop you think a first baseman make last night.
As good as any first baseman can make. It sure was.
2-2 to Dozier. To right field, and it will carry to Stanton, who makes a nice charging catch. One down. And that'll bring up Mauer. Mauer 0 for 2, the average back below the 300 mark at 292. Actually 0 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice in the first. Hit the ball hard a couple of times on the ground in the first, and then a soft line drive in the third inning. Strike on the outside corner.
We said back in the very beginning of the game that one of the keys to the game is somebody step up and get a big hit. The Twins had knocked on the door a bunch yesterday. Last night, very winnable game if they could just come up with some kind of extra base hit in big situations. This would be a great inning to throw a run or two up there with somebody, but somebody's going to need to have a good at bat and come through with a big hit.
After the first strike, the Yankees swung Andujar to the right side of the infield. So Joe's faced with an infield shift. Remembering that Monday night in a similar spot, although it was in the first inning, not the seventh inning, Joe tried to bunt. He just didn't bunt the ball hard enough or far enough. But as we were discussing, I think last night, in Joe's case, he's not a Logan Morrison type. Joe's a singles, doubles type of hitter, not a doubles home run type of hitter.
Well, it wouldn't be a bad play just to give yourself a base hit, get runners to first and second. But I just don't think you'll do it with one strike and one out.
Takes it to the knees, and it's 1-2. And Joe looks back at DJ Rayburn. That's to left. Gardner coming in. He won't get there. Right off the end of the bat. Lamar checks in at second base. So the Twins do get a base hit from Mauer. First and second, one down for Miguel Sano.
Well, here it is, and just a little high breaking ball that Joe serves into left field. As Dick mentioned, off the end of the bat, just a little dunker into left, and we're in a situation now where exactly what we were talking about. We need that one more big hit.
And Sano is 1 for 2. He got an infield hit his last time up, walked and scored in the third. Breaking ball, strike one. Five home runs for Sano, the fifth coming last night in the first inning. Inside, up around the hands. Zip on that fastball at 95 miles per hour.
And he's been at 97. Yep, he's got a good arm. Ball moves, runs in. You can see that running in on him.
1-1 to Miguel Sano.
Oh, man.
Hook to the corner and foul by inches or feet.
You could see that coming halfway to the plate. He was through a hanging breaking ball in the inside part of the plate, and you could just see this good swing coming at it.
Twins may challenge this fair foul call. It's foul by plenty. Near the extension of the foul pole, the yellow line, foul by about a foot. It's another thing, these short dimensions will allow to have happen. A ball that would hook foul, they don't have a chance to hook foul because the fences and the poles are so close. But that one did right in front of the foul pole. And it's 1-2 to Sano. Three-0 Twins, and the Twins looking for more. Sano down the right field line, twists it foul.
I actually kind of like that swing too. That protective swing against the fastball. He's fully aware of the breaking ball. He's fully aware that pitchers and teams like to strike him out with breaking balls down and away. Waiting to identify the pitch. The ball got in him a little bit. He was able to fight it off, but he's not jumping out there too quick yet.
And a fastball is fouled off the mitt of Sanchez.
And what I mean by that is if you're just sitting on fastball with 2 strikes, if you just convince yourself it's going to be a fastball and you're trying to pull it, you hurry up to get the big end of the bat out in front of you, and you're so vulnerable to a breaking ball. And we've seen that from Miguel when he's not swinging well. You can just tell that he's in a hurry to get the bat head out in front. To the degree that he can wait just a split second longer, identify the pitch. As strong as he is, the ballpark can't hold him in too many places.
Got him with an off-speed pitch.
There it was.
2 down, and now Escobar. Last pitch brought to you by Carrier, a breaking ball off the plate. Last few games, Sano's done a nice job putting the ball in play, but potentially a huge strikeout for the Yankees. And now Escobar, who clobbered a 2-run home run to put the Twins on the board in the 3rd. And as we showed you in his last at bat, he's had a wonderful series at the plate.
Can we ask him to do it one more time? He's been the true bright spot in the Twins order for these 4 games here in the stadium.
Swing and a miss. Made a nice pick to preserve the no-hit bid, and that's all we were thinking about at the time for the second out of the 6th. But then, given the fact that Gardner singled and Judge walked afterwards, that was an awfully big play, no-hitter aside for Escobar in the bottom of the 6th. 1 strike. To center, and it will carry out to Hicks to end the threat. Twins get a single and a walk, but it's still 3-0 as we go to the home half of the 7th.
Kyle Gibson with 6 innings of 1 hit shutout baseball has been absolutely masterful through 6 innings. And the Twins have gotten him a lead. Eduardo Escobar put one in the bullpen in right center for a 2-run home run. And Escobar did it. Robbie Grossman will get a high fastball and hit that barely out of the reach of a leaping Giancarlo Stanton. And that's where we are here in the bottom of the 7th. The Twins leading 3-0.
And you look at the line score. Kyle Gibson getting 18 outs here today. He's got a chance to win the ball game, and the Twins will turn the game over to the bullpen here, leading 3-0.
The best I think he's ever pitched in terms of location, trajectory of pitches, selection of pitches, hard stuff and soft stuff, inside and outside, back and forth, in and out. He just was very close to perfect today.
Reed will come into the ball game to try to get 3 outs. Twins have had so many short starts. The bullpen is not in ideal shape, but Reed will come in for the 11th time this year, trying to preserve this shutout bid.
Addison Reed has pitched very well in this young season, and this is exactly the kind of situation for which he was acquired. 7th inning, Twins have a 3-run lead. Come in and give them 3 outs here in this inning.
Return home, and we are expecting great weather this weekend. There's CenturyLink What's Next. You see the pitching matchups. Phil Hughes will go tomorrow. Jake Odorizzi going Saturday. Jose Barrios on Sunday. As Joey Votto and the Reds come to town for the first time in a long time. First time at Target Field. Stanton will lead things off in the 7th, and then Sanchez and Hicks. Yankees put a couple of men aboard in the 6th, got the tying run to the plate, but Gibson got Gregorius, and now the bullpen will go to work. Strike on the outside corner. Giancarlo Stanton has grounded out and struck out so far here this afternoon. Breaking ball and a swing and a miss.
I think it's really interesting that Addison Reed stands way over on the first base side of the rubber, steps across his body, steps to the third base side, throws across his body, and then wants to hit the outside corner. It's one of the more interesting combinations of deliveries, and it's very effective. It's evidently standing over there and throwing across his body. What I've noticed so far this year, he has a good idea about where that outside corner is.
Up high, 1-2. So far in his first season in New York, Stanton has 95 at bats and 38 strikeouts. That's laced to left center field. Powerfully through the gap. And Stanton has a leadoff double in the 7th. That'll bring up Sanchez with a man aboard. Just the 2nd Yankee hit here this afternoon.
Ball just a little higher than Addison Reed wanted it, and not quite out far enough. That's a big, strong man, and he was able to reach out, and for most of us it would have been poking it into left center. He drove that ball with a flick of his wrist.
And now Sanchez 0 for 2. He lined out to the left fielder Grossman his last time up. Sure, you at home are playing the out game. 9 of them to get.
And it's a one-hitter at a time, his situation right here. Of course, you'd like to keep the run out there on second base, but got to get this, just get outs. Get this guy now.
Reed gets ahead of Sanchez. Smothered by Garver. 1-1. Popped up. Sano with the catch, one away. And that'll bring up Hicks.
Well, it goes without saying that getting Gary Sanchez right there is a gigantic out. And now go to work on Aaron Hicks, who is a better right-handed hitter than left. Although his left-handed swing has improved immeasurably since he left the Twins.
And that gets by Garver, and Stanton will go to third. Pitch down and in. And for the first time this afternoon, the Yankees get a runner to third base. Wild pitch is charged. One and 0 to Hicks. Right off the end of the bat, a spinner, and it's 1-1.
Twins obviously playing the infield back here. They'll trade it out for they'll trade this run here for an out. As Dick mentioned, it's an outs game here. They need 8 more.
Hicks with a fly ball to center and a strikeout swinging against Kyle Gibson. That's to center. Lamar is back. It's out number 2, but it's the first Yankee run. A wild pitch in the double, allowing Stanton to gain third, and now he crosses home plate. It's 3-1. And with 2 down, the base is empty. It's Tyler Austin's turn. Reed pitched last night for the first time in 3 days. Ball 1. Ryan Presley has pitched the last 2 nights and might not be available. Rodney, no problem there. And now 2-0.
No walks here at this point in the game. Nobody gets on for free. With the Yankees' ability to hit the ball in the seats, you make them hit solo ones.
Popped up near the Yankee dugout, but back into the seats. And it's 2-1. On the outside corner, 2-2, and Austin didn't care for it. 15 pitches for Reed, facing his 4th batter.
There's that outside corner that Addison Reed likes so well. Really good pitch. You throw it there again, you get him.
Got him.
Yep.
And Reed gives up the leadoff double and the first Yankee run, but we head to the 8th. It's 3-1 Minnesota. Target Field, a limited number of Lynx theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and, maybe more importantly, a Twins Lynx co-branded cap. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/Lynx or call 800-33-TWINS. You go to a game, you take home the memories, and maybe the memories last a long time, but the cap can, if you take care of it, last forever. Mitch Garver will lead off the 8th inning for the Twins, trying to get the run back that the Yankees got in the 7th. And a first pitch strike. It will be Garver, Kepler, and Grossman in the Twins' 8th. Facing Herman, who's given up 1 run over 2 innings. And a strike on the outside corner. Zach Duke limbering up again in the Twins' pen. He may get the 8th inning. Out in front. And a strikeout of Garver, 1 away. Twins won't see the Yankees after today until September. Remember, last year the Twins in September came here to play the Yankees. This year the Yankees will come to Minnesota and play at Target Field in the month of September, and then who knows, maybe face each other again in the postseason. Kepler lifts it foul. 0 for 3 today, a couple of ground balls and a strikeout. Bouncer right side, easy play for Torres. 2 down, and that'll bring up Grossman. Grossman's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. That in and of itself is a good thing to see. Robbie's been struggling. Lined a double into the left field corner in the 2nd. Lined to Stanton in right field in the 4th, and then hit a home run just out of Stanton's reach in the 6th.
Very nice swing there, obviously, by Robbie Grossman, not known as a high fastball hitter, more of a low ball hitter as a left-hander, but put a charge in that one. High fastball. He's got an extra base hit from both sides of the plate. Double against the left-hander, as Dick mentioned, and then that home run that gave them the 3rd run. They could use another one.
And now 0-2 quickly to Grossman, and the the Yankees will put on the shift. And that's off the end of the bat, foul over the head of Gene Glenn. Still 2 strikes. Technically just a 7-game road trip, but of course the Twins went to San Juan, Puerto Rico to play a couple of games, had a couple of off days in front of and behind that trip. So yeah, the team's been on the road away from Target Field for a long time, and Grossman was lucky to able to make contact to keep the at bat alive. Twins will have 3 with the Reds and 3 with the Blue Jays before they head out on another 3-city road trip. Two strikes to Robbie Grossman. That's to right field, and Grossman gets another base hit. 3 hits on the afternoon for Grossman, and that'll get Adrianza to the plate.
Well, good to see Robbie Grossman break out here a little bit. Obviously, the Twins need more of their guys to break out of what the little funk that they've been in. But Robbie Grossman really struggling, and then all of a sudden now 3 hits, 2 extra base hits, a big home run.
Adrianza takes strike 1 on a check swing.
And we go back to Minnesota, where there's going to be nice weather. Maybe the guys are start heating up now.
Adrianza lined out to Hicks his last time up. That's to center and down for a hit. Grossman rounds second. He'll gain third base, and Hicks fumbles the ball in center, and now Adrianza goes in safely. Little bit of a bobble by Hicks, and it cost the Yankees a base, and now they're 2 men in scoring position with 2 out.
Good base running by Adrianza. Good job running hard out of the box, running all the way, gets a tailing fastball, gets it down toward the end just a little bit. But as he gets around first base, he notices the bobble, and with 2 out, it's a great gamble to try and get to second base here. He's able to do it.
If Lamar gets a hit here, it won't be his biggest hit since the Twins left Target Field, but it will be a huge one.
Yeah, it'll be top 2.
And he takes down and away ball 1. It was Lamar who sent everybody back to the mainland with a win on the 16th inning in San Juan in the game a week ago last night. Here, a hit to the outfield should give the Twins 2 huge insurance runs.
I'm going to call it. I called for 5 runs. I'm going to call it here.
Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Ryan's going to get it.
And so little of his damage in terms of the hits. So little of it has come to the pull side. The game winner to center. I think 4 hits to the opposite field. Now a pickoff throw to second, and Adrianza gets back. Second time today that we've seen Sanchez try to throw a pickoff throw to get the runner at second base. And the count is 2-1 to Lamar with Dozier on deck. Up the middle, it'll score a run. No, it won't. Sorry, 2 outs. Lamar grounds out to short, and the Twins strand 2 in scoring position, and we head to the bottom of the 8th, still 3-1. Zach Duke will come in to try to get 3 outs in the 8th inning. And Ryan Presley's pitched the last 2 ball games. Taylor Rogers pitched the last 2 ball games. And so Duke, who's had 5 outings in a row without allowing an earned run, will come in. And he had a scoreless inning here last night. And he'll face Andujar, Torres, and Gardner. Missing ball 1. See the opponent batting average, and you see the inflated ERI and no home runs, so that tells you he's had issues with his control. On the outside corner, 1-1.
Well, Zach has shown pretty good stuff, really. He's you're right, it's the control. The ball sinks well, his fastball sinks well. He's got a couple little breaking balls.
9 walks, 3 of those intentional, but still just 2 6 2/3 innings pitched.
Right.
It's 2-1 now to the number 8 batter. Twins have changed things in the field considerably. On the corners, we'll give you the infield alignment here shortly. On the ground, and it's Sano playing at third base. Morrison's over at first, and Morrison into the game has to stretch into the runner to make the catch 1 away. Escobar is out of the game, and the Twins can't put Mauer in at first because he's the designated hitter, and if you do that, you lose the DH spot for the rest of the game. So 1 down. Torres will hit. And a fastball on the outside corner. Duke, when he's on, will get a lot of what he just got.
Yes.
Ground balls. His ball sinks. He keeps it down around the knees when he's effective. Now ground ball, and it's Dozier. Sets, fires, and the throw slipped out of his hands, and it goes into the Yankee dugout. Dozier tried to plant that right foot, and I don't know if he ever really got it set, and then the ball sailed. It will be an error, and very likely an infield hit. Torres can run. He may have beaten this out anyway. A little bit of a juggle there. And a single is granted Torres, and an error charged to Dozier.
Yeah, Brian bobbled it just a little bit, making the exchange to his hand, and then tried to hurry it. Didn't really have a grip on it, looked like.
Eddie Rosario is also in the game in left field. And Grossman is out of the game. Runner at second, 1 down, and here is Gardner. Duke has come in and gotten 2 ground balls. Only 1 was turned into an out. Blocked by Garver, ball 1. With Judge on deck, suddenly a very big man to get here. Drop down sidearm, missed the outside corner, and it's 2-0. We saw Gardner work the count in the 4th and drew a walk. Worked the count again in the 6th and got the first hit of the game for the Yankees. Lining a sharp, clean single to center against Kyle Gibson. That's to center, and Lamar is there for the catch, out number 2. And Judge will come to the plate as the tying run on his 26th birthday. See a recap of today's game, and most of you, I'm sure, hoping it will be a Twins win. Go to the Fox Sports North Facebook page and get a recap as the Twins hope to finish this frustrating road trip with a win. Judge has struck out and walked twice. at the knees, a strike.
And just figure out a way to keep him in the ballpark here.
Fernando Rodney warming up in the bullpen. Typically he would not warm up until the Twins were hitting in advance of his entrance into the game, but this is a plan B here for the 8th inning as well, involving Rodney. 1-1 to Judge. Strike 2 again at the knees. And so far Duke's done a nice job keeping the ball away from Aaron Judge. Right on the outside edge.
With a little sink on it. He's pitched very well so far. A little unlucky with the one ground ball that Brian couldn't handle.
Breaking ball got him. And another scoreless outing for Zach Duke, and the Twins will take a 2-run lead into the 9th.
Wonderful inning from Zach Duke. Huge. Twins that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Well, the Twins got a marvelous pitching performance from Kyle Gibson. And the Yankees will entrust the 9th inning to Dellin Betances, who really had a tough time of it, was booed off the field when he was taken out here 2 nights ago.
Well, the Twins got a marvelous pitching performance from Kyle Gibson, just what they needed. They got a great 7th inning from Addison Reed and an even better 8th inning, all things considered, from Zach Duke.
It'll be Dozier, Mauer, Sano, and I believe it'll be Rosario hitting in what was Escobar's spot. And a breaking ball over to Dozier for strike 1.
And from the other dugout, manager Aaron Boone of the Yankees is going to look for every situation he possibly can get Dellin Betances into the game where he can get this guy and this stuff going. Have him find the strike zone.
Dozier took a breaking ball for a strike, tried to bunt the 98-mile-per-hour fastball, and he bunted it over the Twins dugout, 2 strikes. Brian hitless, 0 for 3, drew a leadoff walk back in the 1st inning. Betances was all over the place here 2 nights ago in his deliveries to the plate, and he uncorked one of the wildest pickoff throws you'll ever want to see. So it was time to get him out. Dozier chases 99 upstairs, 1 down. And that'll bring up Mauer.
'99 up there is tough even for Brian, who's a good high fastball hitter, but that is a tough one. Hard to get on top of that pitch.
Interesting matchup here because Joe, of course, very patient, takes pitches. And Betances going to have to throw this guy strikes to get him out. And there's one on the outside corner. One and one. When he tried to pitch through the 7th inning here 2 nights ago, he walked Escobar, threw wildly to first, gave up a base hit to Garver, walked Logan Morrison, and then Green came in to put out the fire as the Twins were hoping to come back. Strike on the outside corner, and Joe still not convinced that was strike 2.
But from the Yankee standpoint, for manager Aaron Boone, here's a guy that throws from 97 to 99 fastball, and when he's throwing strikes, an almost unhittable breaking ball, how late and sharply it breaks. He's just trying to figure out a way to get him confident again and get him throwing strikes, because he can be such a weapon out of that bullpen. So if you have Dellin Betances and David Robertson and then Aroldis Chapman, I mean,
the 6-inning game.
It's the 6-inning game if they're all throwing strikes.
Mauer flipped the breaking ball foul, 1-2. And another breaking
there.
Ball.
Joe was on that pitch. It just fouled it back. Looked like it was pretty much in the middle, and it just got under a little bit, a little higher than Joe would have preferred. But Betances can get away with high breaking balls because it's quick and late.
And Joe chases 98 out of the strike zone. You don't see him do it very often. And Betances has rebounded nicely with a couple of strikeouts early in the 9th inning. And that'll bring up Sano. A walk and an infield hit and a pair of strikeouts for Miguel Sano. Breaking ball buckles Sano and breaks over, strike 1. Half swing. Did he go? No. 1-1. And it is Rosario in the on deck circle if Sano can extend the inning. Morrison would hit in the 7th spot if it comes up. Two and two. Excuse me, 1-2.
Seen an example of the electric stuff of Dellin Betances when he's throwing strikes.
Breaking ball got him. An encouraging outing for Betances as he strikes out Dozier, Mauer, and Sano, and Fernando Rodney will try to pin down the save against the 3, 4, and 5 batters of New York. Groups of 25 or more qualify for a special ticket discount and more. You go to twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS. The 6-game losing streak started on a Friday night in St. Petersburg. Fernando Rodney blew a save opportunity after the Twins had come back to tie it and take the lead with a couple of late home runs at Tropicana Field. With 2 outs, he hit Carlos Gomez, gave up a stolen base. There was a game-tying hit, and that was loss number 1 of what turned out to be 6 in a row. And now it's Rodney, fittingly, who has a chance to put an end to the losing streak. And you can see Gregorius 0 for 1 against him, Stanton 0 for 5. Gary Sanchez will face him for the first time.
Fernando Rodney still throws hard enough, has a good enough fastball with the great changeup that he has. He can still be very effective as a closer. Achilles heel for Rodney, of course, bases on balls. And that is the biggest no-no here in the stadium against this Yankee lineup. So we'll see what he can do against the heart of the Bombers here.
Gregorius, a strikeout and 2 fly balls to center, and a big one induced by Gibson to close out the 6th inning. Fastball and strike 1. Rodney was so close to pinning down the save Friday at Tropicana Field. Hit Gomez 2 pitches later. Gomez stole second. And the game-tying base hit off the mound into center field. Swing and a miss with the changeup fooling him.
Yeah, it's still a great changeup and a great weapon. You watch this arm speed. Of course, we're doing it in slow motion there, but that arm speed is the exact same as his fastball. That's what the hitter reacts to.
0-2. On the ground. Sano falls down and rifles his throw, but it gets by Morrison. Sano threw across and it got there in the air, but Morrison didn't catch it, and Gregorius goes to second base. Should be a 2-base error on the Twins' first baseman.
Gregorius hit it well, and it kind of stunned Sano, but he makes a good play. Morrison just doesn't come up with it.
And now Stanton representing the tying run.
Well, once again, keep the ball in the ballpark. Superfluous run out there at second base. 1 hitter at a time. Keep it in the ballpark.
And back in the strike zone, strike 1. I'm assuming the error was charged to Morrison, and it is a 2-base error on the Twins' first baseman. You make an error in a close ball game like this, and you kind of feel like you're alone on an island, and now you look at Morrison, and he's alone on the right side of the infield. Nubbed. It's going to be a tough play. Sano has no play. It's an infield hit for Stanton. First and second, nobody out, and now Gary Sanchez, who will face Rodney for the first time.
Well, the ball just perfectly placed right here. Both infielders playing very deep. Neither one of them would have a chance. On the previous play, Sano makes a nice play to stay with that ball, dig it out. The ball did hit the dirt.
Yeah, it did not get to him on the fly.
Yep.
And now they've changed it to an
Yep.
error 5.
Yep.
The error is charged to Sano, not Morrison. And I think looking at replay, that was the right call.
It was absolutely the right call. That was a really tough hop to try and pick. It looked like from here originally, it looked like the ball got to the glove in the air, but certainly did not. And it would have been an incredible pick for Morrison to have caught that hop.
Sanchez 0 for 3. The tying runs at first, nobody out. Strike 1. Behind Sanchez is Hicks. There are no words. The road trip starts with a Fernando Rodney blown save, and it ends incredibly with another blown save. An error, an infield hit, and a 3-run bomb, and the Yankees have completed their 4-game sweep.
Fastball that just didn't get in on Sanchez. So strong. Such talent, able to keep it fair.
The futility and the frustration continues at Yankee Stadium, with Sanchez facing Rodney for the first time and hitting one of the biggest home runs he has ever hit. And all the good work done by Kyle Gibson and Reed and Duke goes right out the window.